Okay, well, welcome to English 112 over the summer in 2015. I'm Jordan Bullington. I'm going to be your instructor. You've got my contact information here at the top. My email address is pretty straightforward. It's just jordan.bullington@cpcc.edu. The purpose of this video is just really to give you kind of an overview of what the course is going to look like. It's by no means an extensive look, so I definitely still want you to read the syllabus on your own, and you'll need to read it for the syllabus quiz. But this is just to kind of cover some of the basics as we're going through the semester. So just to hit some of the highlights, the first thing to say is that we are a solely online course, and what this means is that throughout the semester you're going to have to be very proactive, and you're going to have to kind of be a very independent worker, and you're going to have to stay on top of things. I'm always available if you have questions. Email is the best way to get in touch with me. I do tend to respond to emails pretty quickly. So I don't want you to feel like you're on an island, which is easy to do when you're in an online class. So just know that you can reach out to me at any point. You've got my email address. We'll do discussions with our classmates throughout the semester. I'll give you the chance to do some peer reviews for some extra credit. Different things that you'll be able to do so that you're still interacting with each other in our class. But for the most part, it is going to be, since it is an online course, you're going to be doing a lot of independent work, and you're going to have to be very proactive. So office hours, I do office hours by appointment only, and I'm available in through a number of different mediums, one of which, of course, through email, but also real-time chat functions like Google Hangout or Skype or anything like that. We can also have phone conversation if that's necessary, but if a face-to-face meeting is something that you just feel is necessary or that works best for you, then we can set that up through our division office also. So just want to stay in touch with me throughout the semester and let me know if you need anything. So I'm going to skip past the course description because I imagine you guys can read through this on your own, as well as the course objectives. And then the course competencies, I'll let you guys read all through all of that. I've listed the textbook here that you'll need. It is I believe it's the second edition, but it's listed here, published in 2011, so you'll be looking for that textbook. And then the requirements for our course is Microsoft Word, Internet access, of course, and then Blackboard, which is where we're going to be doing all of our classroom activities. So Blackboard's going to be our go-to. It's going to be our lifeline for our course. So my expectations, it's an asynchronous course, so at no point will I expect you to log in at a certain time. But I do want you to continuously check the online Blackboard page each day, and to participate and respond quickly to any online discussions, complete any of the assignments going on. And attendance is important. I know that sounds really silly in an online course, but you're marked attended each week if you've completed the assignments for that week. So if you've done the reading or you've done the discussion or the quiz for that week. So just logging on does not necessarily make you doesn't necessarily mark you as attended in our class. So you do have to actually do some of the work to be counted as attending class. I want you to be able to familiarize yourself with Blackboard and continue to learn it, as well as I expect you to be proficient in Microsoft Word and other tools and computer tools that you'll use throughout the semester. Be proactive, make sure that you understand the syllabus. Some of the other ones, number 7 and number 8 are probably two of my bigger ones. Number 7 is to be respectful of each other. You're going to be responding to each other in discussion boards. You're going to be interacting through discussions and peer writing if you choose to participate in that. So there's going to be all kinds of ways to engage in the writing of your classmates, and it's really important that we're respectful of each other. You do need to turn all work in on time, since this is a summer course and it's a shorter session. It does mean that there's not a lot of turnaround time, so I at this point do not take late assignments unless it's been discussed with me ahead of time and I've approved it. So if something comes up, and things do come up, and I understand that, then I'm willing to work with you, but you do have to communicate that with me ahead of time. So don't get to assignments due on Tuesday night at midnight, and on Tuesday afternoon you're emailing me asking me for an extension. That's not going to fly. So if a couple days in advance something happens and you know that you're not going to have a chance to really sit down and put your best effort in, then at that point reach out and communicate with me, and I'm willing to work with you. But otherwise, late assignments are not tolerated. So you're going to want to check your email and your discussion boards every day. Your CPCC email address is the only avenue of communication that I can accept, and that's because that's the only avenue that I can verify your identity. So some people have personal email addresses with really bizarre, wild things in the email, and so I have a hard time figuring out who you are if your email address is cheerbabe06@hotmail.com. So stick to your CPCC email. That'll be the only way that we can communicate back and forth. And then just to go a little bit farther, you are, of course, required to own the textbook, so make sure that you have the textbook for our course by the end of week 2. You'll need it in week 2, so make sure you've got it by the end of the first week for our course, because we will be doing some readings for week 2. Expectations for communication. I do expect respectful communication. I will always be respectful to you, and therefore I do require respect my way as well. All email correspondence with me should be professional. It should be formal and clear, and there shouldn't be any text language. So no LOLs, no the number 4 for four, and no U's for you, etc. I do teach many sections of the same course, so when you do email me, I ask that you put our course and section number in the subject so that I can identify which course you're actually enrolled in. I understand that throughout the semester you may be frustrated with an assignment or a grade, and that's completely fine. It's okay to be frustrated, but at no point is it okay to reach out and to resort to disrespectful communication. So typing in all capital letters, swear words, threats, name calling, any other communication that I consider to be disrespectful will not be tolerated. So if you write me an email that's considered disrespectful, then I do have the right, as the instructor of the course, to give you a failing grade for our course. So just keep that in mind, and I understand that things happen and it's easy to get frustrated. So I do want us to have an open form of communication at all times. So please feel free to reach out and know that I'm going to be understanding, but I want you to be respectful because I'm going to respect you. So I do answer emails pretty quickly, typically within 1 business day, if not sooner. So if you email me Friday night, then I wouldn't anticipate an answer Saturday morning, because weekends are obviously a little bit different. I do tend to stay on my email pretty regularly, but just be aware that if you email me late Friday night or late Saturday night, you may not receive anything until Monday. Just a couple other things that I'll let you read through. It talks a little bit about down here about Blackboard, and there's a different training requirement. If you've never participated in an online course, it's just good to go through the training because it does make the process a little easier. Blackboard tends to be a very user-friendly system, so I don't foresee us having many issues. The grading policies, this is what most people are concerned about. So just like probably all of your classes here at CPCC, we're on a 10-point grading scale, so your 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to an 89 B, and so on and so on. And this is how I have broken down our course. So you have 3 major written assignments that you'll do for me, 3 major papers. The first one is the question paper, and it's due at the end of week 2. The next one is our debunking stereotypes paper. It's due at week 4, I believe. And the last paper that you'll submit for me, you'll submit in week 7, and that is the argument paper. So you'll see that they do go up in percentage each time for a total of 45%, and that's because the assignments do become more rigorous over time, but also my goal is that you are improving as a writer with each written assignment that we tackle, which is why they do become increasingly higher percentages of your final grade. Throughout the semester, I'll assign 3 classroom activities. They're not too strenuous. It's really just kind of to do an overview of what we're doing that particular week. So there'll be a citation assignment, there's a reading assignment, and a thesis assignment. And again, they're not too extensive. They're typically a couple pages of questions that you'll fill out, or you're engaging in the reading assignment. To give you an example of you're reading a text and you're engaging with analytical reading skills and thinking skills. So there are 3 assignments, each worth 10% of your final grade, for a total of 30% of your final. And then lastly, participation, which in an online course may seem silly, but it is still very important. So in our course, participation includes everything from discussion boards, responding to discussion threads, any and all quizzes throughout the semester, and then the final course evaluation form that you'll do for me at the very end. So more information on participation is listed below, but it is worth 25% of your grade. So this is a pretty easy one. As long as you're participating, as long as you're putting forth effort and you're actually participating in the assignments for our semester, then that should be an easy 25% that you earned for our class. And down here it talks a little bit about the discussion boards and activities, which is where a lot of the participation points come from. So with discussion boards, you're going to post a discussion board, and then the next week you'll be responding to each other. And when I'm looking at these, I'm going to be grading. There is a discussion board rubric in our Blackboard page, but I'm going to be looking at things like, number one, is it a minimum of 250 words? And 250 words is a minimum in the truest sense, meaning that just writing 250 words does not necessarily guarantee that you're going to get 100 for that week. So I want you to actually engage with the questions. I want you to put forth some effort. And the same thing with your responses to your classmates. They should be thoughtful and they should be respectful. And I'm going to evaluate the level of effort that you're placing on your responses as well as the discussion. Attendance, of course, is important. You do need to be aware that attendance is something that I will be continually checking, and it'll be based on the assignments you're submitting. More than 2 absences, which represents 2 weeks of non-participation in an online course, will result in a failing grade for our course. So do make sure that you are participating, that you're staying engaged in the classwork. And then this goes in a little bit more to talk about the attendance policy here at Central Piedmont. There is, as you know, there is an EVA assignment that you'll do for me by the census date, which is the 10% date. And that EVA assignment is our syllabus quiz that you have in the week 1. And it is due by May 26th, so not too long. I do want you to do it this week, because once you do the syllabus quiz, it'll actually activate the discussion board for week 1 to open. So you do have to do the syllabus quiz before you can do the discussion board. But if May 26th comes and goes and you haven't completed the syllabus quiz, then it won't matter that you logged in and did a discussion board. It won't matter that you've been in contact with me. Central Piedmont will actually mark you as never attended, and that'll be the end of it. So just make sure that you've done that EVA assignment by March 26th. And then down here, we talk a little bit about the library sources and MLA citations, what we're going to be using this semester. So I do want you guys to be familiar with MLA. Really, your first paper is going to be graded heavily in MLA. So you want to make sure that you understand MLA. And if you have any questions about what MLA citation looks like, please go ahead and reach out to me now. From our course, you do have up until the 35th% of the course to withdraw from the class, and the last day to withdraw for a summer session this time around is June 7th. So I've put a couple of reminders up there, not that I want anybody to withdraw, but I just want you guys to be aware that if you get to a point in the semester where you don't think that you're going to be able to finish the course, you do have until June 7th to withdraw. So just to put that out there, again, I don't want anybody to withdraw, of course, but I just want you guys to have all the information. There's a little bit more information about the withdrawal policy and some more information on the disability services available on campus. And then plagiarism. This is a really important one. Plagiarism is a very serious academic violation. And what it is, it's the use of words or ideas of other people. So anything that's been published from sources like a magazine or online material, or even things that you've published in a previous class or things that your friends have published in a previous class. Blackboard is this really tricky tool that does capture everything ever submitted in Blackboard at any point, and it will catch it no matter what. So if you submit to me a paper that you submitted in English 111, Blackboard will catch it and say this is completely plagiarized. And it's a form of plagiarism, it's self-plagiarism, so know that you do have to write original work for our course. It's incredibly important. And since we're a research-based writing course, you're going to be looking at outside sources, and I do need to see some in-text citations. So it's completely fine to use the ideas of other people, but be able to put it in your own words. And if not, even if you put it in your own words, I need to see some citations just so that you're giving credit to those outside sources. And we'll look at some citation assignments in the second week of our course. We'll be looking at citations and how that works with MLA, just as kind of a refresher. And then here at the bottom, we've got our tutoring and academic assistance and things like that. And then just a final note that we're going to be respecting each other's viewpoints throughout the semester. So as a class, I want you to really engage in the conversation. I want you to kind of push against each other in certain places, especially since we are an argument-driven course. But it's most important to me that you're being respectful. So this is our syllabus as it stands. I do have the right to make changes at any point, but I promise that if I do, I will communicate those changes with you in plenty of time. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I'm looking forward to our semester. Thanks for joining me here over the summer.